piggyback on the town hall meeting to hear people concerns in terms of, what they thought about this, the whole housing aspect of, but I guess we'll have to wait until. But
one of the things we discussed is how significant do we need as many condos that they're using?
Yeah.
Do we need that many?
Yeah. Well, one other thing that although it's not part of our housing committee, Warren, one of the things we thought that would be something that they can do with that President Street sign was commercial space instead of those condos.
Yeah.
For the Infantado and all those other non-for-profit that are looking for affordable permanent
Look,
space.
That whole
We
space
said that
could-
whole, if they would just convert that
could
to,
create cash flow to
Yeah.
support the
Yeah.
whole armory for years to come.
Of course.
yeah.
With
a
stores
good
and then above it,
recommendation.
or take the bottom and you have all commercial stuff. That stuff that services the armory.
That sounds like a
And
good
then on
plan.
top of it,
They
you
can
have
put
all the,
condos.
that's what we're losing.
Yeah.
It's a big
Yeah.
deal. So essentially,
So
it's
it'd be-
making us dependent
Yeah.
upon people's
so much
goodwill.
space in it.
Because we
Exactly.
figure that
Tons of
it's
space.
income generating, the rental, the income generating.
Oh, that was
So-
the other thing, yeah.
So we got a lot of chairs to go through.
So
that
Keep
was-
the phone going. We still
We're
gotta
We're
throw
the
it
ones
on the
that
agenda.
created them.
Let her for last because I'm gonna excuse myself for her.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Um,
actually, we're gonna do,
Yeah, I was gonna ask, so,
youth and
you got the
education.
youth education.
I'm just gonna say something and then, Ada is going to finish it, but, one of the things that we were able to accomplish this year, through the proprietary,
Participatory budget.
participatory budget, is that we, it's a tongue twister, but we were able to get 2 schools, who got funded through it. I think it's PS 92, they got smart boards and,
What's those
I
schools
read
about?
that.
PS 92 and there was another school.
wasn't
I think 91, wasn't it?
It might have been 91.
No, 91,
Yeah.
not 91. What's the other one on
Yeah.
Parkside? There's two
So,
on
yeah,
Parkside.
yeah, so we were able to get, because these schools were operating with whiteboard, chalkboard, even up to this time,
Yeah.
21st century. So we were able to get them into the 21st century. And so we're pretty happy about that.
No, it's a big deal.
Yeah, Ada?
We also met with Nicole Job, who's the CBC 17 president. We met with her at her location to talk about what the needs were for the school year. Usually they have a legislative summit where they talk about the school needs with all the politicians, and they had one last year, which I attended, which is fantastic. They did not have one this year. So we went straight to her to ask her what it is. She said she would get back to us and to establish like, all the schools in the district, what their needs are, etc. We can either address it through funds from DOE, through the board, or through participatory budget, which is really a key way of obtaining funds. So we may go that route. There's also, from a youth standpoint, it's youth, it's after school. I'm gonna work with DYCD, Natalie Leary, we work with very closely and establish like, what schools in our district do not have after-school programs, because I know there's at least one that they came to our meeting, addressed that. Natalie happened to be at that meeting addressing it, and she was able to help him in order to be able to make sure he does have an after-school program. I just want to make sure that all the schools have after-school programs. I do know somebody from DYCD came in, Carmen let me know. There's one of the programs that's in jeopardy. The thing with DYCD is that they are not an organization that just gives money. What they do is they issue RFPs.
Yeah.
So, and then you have to request the money. So it's not like other organizations and city agencies which can divvy out money.
Yeah.
So I want to work with Natalie and really determine like what RFPs are coming up, or how much of our locations are getting it, and work with her that way. And then also work with ACS, which is has a youth component to it also.
That's great.
Beverly?
What, where am I?
Your outreach.
Yeah,
Your outreach.
so I don't,
There's nothing going on. It's, I mean,
Oh, okay.
Communication, we
it's
had
just-
our-
yeah, we had our
Tivoli,
meeting.
and then we had our
I'm still getting used to it. So yeah, we had an outreach with Tivoli. Well, we didn't intrude on them. They invited us to kind of be the objective participants in the negotiation between tenants and the tenants organization, and it came out really well. It didn't end in a way that people thought it would. We were able to get the tenants on board with the tenants organization and help them to see each other's side. And so hopefully, and as everybody knows, Tivoli got a newly appointed tenants association. So they're just starting. So it's gonna take, they're experiencing growing pains for right now. But as long as the tenants have committed to supporting them, they're gonna be fine. At our last meeting, we worked on how to reach out to the community. As we know, District 9 is tapped into the technology of today, but a large portion of us are not. So we're gonna have to, we're talking about going to street affairs and creating newsletters, both in hard copy and electronically. So that's what we're doing.
Thank you.
I have one question.
Sure.
Is that, I've been reading that in Ebbetsfield that they're renovating apartments and
Well-
then renting them at higher rents, is that correct?
Well, the way it is
That's what I
that
heard.
Evansville is rent stabilized. That's number one.
Right.
And even though it's been exaggerated, because what they're doing is, along with forcing people out of their apartments, they're renovating these apartments to market value. So, an apartment, the person that moved out could have been paying $900. The person that's moving in could be paying $22.
That's what they're doing in my building.
Right,
Whoa.
because remember, you pay a 20% vacancy fee, and you pay 1/5 or 1/50th. There's a percentage that you pay
Right, plus
of
there's
all the renovations.
Yeah.
plus there's a new tenant, you can increase it 20%.
Right, and that new tenant's going to get a preferential lease, not outcome and could be outreach related. I understand, but that was just.
Okay.
One of the things that Beverly and Ada didn't mention was that I shared with them the list of black associations,
Oh,
that's
the
right.
black parties.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
And actually, a gentleman came in
Yeah?
Friday.
Friday.
A gentleman
Connected
came
in.
in.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And said that in all the years that they've been doing Block Party, Community Board 9 has not participated. They have not participated. So I know that Ada and Beverly were talking about having tables at these events, and they like, we just want you guys to come out and give information, set a table and stuff like that. So they have the list, and I guess we have to figure out, one of the things that I think would be helpful if you get like those tablecloth with the city seal that says Community Board 9, so when you set up
We
this
gotta order
table,
that.
Marketing
Yeah.
material.
marketing
That's what we're talking
material.
about, what to give
And
out.
information is basically you can give
Yeah.
out, and we have a host of things that come through here that we can give out to the
So-
And that just
Yeah.
reminded me, Carmen, and the group here, everyone here, that when the FDNY came to our meeting last week, they said they would be available, if we had to list all the block parties that was gonna be happening, that
Well,
they
they
would
do,
gladly set
yeah.
up a booth and everything.
Okay.
That's great.
Yeah.
They do come.
And, oh God, thank God I
I think
remember.
Okay.
So I told them that we would forward that list to
Okay.
them, so we can work on that
And you
tomorrow.
can send to Kings County Hospital also
Uh-huh.
for the, everybody loves the blood pressure.
But also, what we can talk about just really quick is that, oh God, just left my mind. Just left my mind. Oh, no, marketing material.
Yeah, it had to be
Senior
that.
moment. Wow.
Senior
A
moment.
senior moment.
Senior
Marketing
moment.
material, in terms of, it's not so much, we have plenty of stuff to give out, but does anybody know what a community board is, what it does, what we're responsible for, when you can come to us and when
There's a
not?
form of
That's what the
Yeah.
table should have.
It should have
Yeah.
all the
All that
information
information.
of when
And
you
how
can
to
come
be
to us
a
and
board
why.
member.
We have a description in the
Exactly.
front.
Yeah, we have an 8.5 by 11 sheet that just says your community
But you
board.
can-
But I
we
think
need to-
that and it can even be done, where you just do it and fold it up and make it
Yeah,
like
because
a
there's an
pamphlet.
example up there, what
Yeah,
14
so
does,
you just,
yes.
you
But
put
we
the
need to
seal,
make
we
it
can,
look-
we
we
can
need to
play
make it
on it
look good.
in-house
Mhm.
if the budget doesn't, accommodate the expenditure.
Mhm.
And you just take a, 8.5 by 11 and you print it where you can just fold it and
Yeah,
do a
right.
nice
Yeah,
cover.
and
make it
then
look
just
Community
make it
Board
look
9,
nice.
and then people can open it up and have, and then all of the
Create your
members,
own
whatever
brochure.
that comes in.
But one of the things we also talk about is, from a budget standpoint, how does that work? I mean,
Who has that, Jess?
because the community board, the
Well,
community board has a budget,
But the community board does have a budget.
which I,
But there's
and,
a budget the budget is for the district manager and office assistant staff. However, there's extra money in the funds that can.
so as chairs, if we're planning on doing events, or we're planning on doing things, like when do we give that
Do we-
information?
do we
We need
have
to access
access-
that, because
Do we, the question is,
Communication
do we
needs-
have access to those monies for those
exactly,
kinds
or
of
do we
things?
have to go out and
That's what
fundraise on our own, like Shop
Yeah,
Local
that's what
does,
you're
or how does that work?
There's funding, like, I think we did it through Lilly before. You can spend out or
What they
we can
do
have.
is,
allocate
you
money.
can request money for
Yeah.
refreshment. There's a
Yeah.
form that you fill out, they allow like $3 for breakfast and $4 or something like
Per
that.
person, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's a form that you fill out, you know, you get a vendor and all that stuff, and, you know, it goes through the controller's office, because you have to follow the city's guideline, the Directive 6. So you do that in terms of refreshments. In terms of, if let's say you want to give out pens and stuff like that, it will either have to be funded through
Yeah.
Friends,
Friends of Community.
or, you know, you can fundraise. I know that, if you wanted to do something in the office, you can solicit from the restaurants in the area. You can ask them, you know,
For donations.
Associated, Western Beef, you know, and stuff like that.
What about if I wanna do PS 161, it's $500. If I wanna do the School for the Deaf, and it's $500 if we're having an event. For instance, education is going to have at least one, maybe 2 events next year that's gonna require us to go to have a
Yeah,
site.
that,
So if that site's $500, can I go to the
That
community
can
board
come
and say, will we have the money? Do I have to do separate fundraising? How does that work? Is it
Try to do that separate funding. There's no
Fundraising.
money that Friends of Community Board 9.
Oh, that's elected officials.
No, not
to
Friends.
donate.
Not
talking
Friends,
about-
talking about
community
the
board.
the
There's
community-
funding in the
You
You
community.
have
Yeah.
to, you have to, okay, one of the things I guess we have to do is we have to look at the budget
Yes,
line
yes.
Right.
for the board. You have to
Right.
see, you know, other than personnel, what there is.
Exactly.
What
So
is
you-
office supplies,
Right.
and stuff like that,
Miscellaneous.
Right,
stuff.
miscellaneous,
Lily is not gonna tell you that.
I know.
You have to go to Eileen or to this,
But there's a breakdown.
Mr. Abad
Yeah.
down in
So,
OB.
so what we,
They will,
so
they will
you
go over
you will have to
line with
look
line
at,
with you about the budget
how
because
the
I
budget,
did it
the
last
money
week.
for the board is
There's a breakdown
allocated,
of
the rent
and if it
piece, yes.
allows for that kind of expenditure.
Oh, okay.
I know there's
Yeah.
supplies, you know, and there's other stuff, so you might have we don't know, I haven't seen it, so it could have a miscellaneous,
That's what I was getting ready to
So I'm gonna
ask you.
s-
Do
that
you
that
have
will
that?
fall under.
Yeah.
But then at that point, you have to see like how much money is it allocated for the year, and make a determination
For
from
the year,
there.
it's usually
Right.
$225.
So is that what we do in September?
So if
Do
you,
we sit
no, I'm
down?
talking about like for other than
Oh, for
Oh,
personnel.
miscellaneous.
No.
So let's say
After
it's
taking the
20,
salaries
let's say
and
it's
everything?
$20,000,
Correct.
and you have 11 committees, then there's no way that you're gonna
Mhm.
fund every committee
Can't.
through there,
You
because then you're
can't,
gonna.
you can't do
Yeah,
that.
you
No,
gonna
no,
have to do
But
it.
you may be able
So
to
do we
fund
sit down-
everything
What it
that's
is.
needed.
Right.
Exactly. If you come-
So that's what I said, and that's
Like,
something
we
that,
don't need it,
as,
you know,
as,
most committees, parks doesn't
yeah,
need
but
it.
as, you know, during the
nothing.
summer, we have to work on the budget, so
But then
as
you
those
have to-
as the budget is worked around, those are things that you have to look at the breakdown of the budget, so.
And I don't think that's something that we have not done here.
Right.
I was gonna
But I-
say, we need to sit down and.
But when I was speaking
Because we never did it
Yeah,
before.
we never had.
When I was speaking to OMB about the rent,
Yeah, what's
here.
going on there?
okay, we gotta get through this as quick as possible, because I gotta leave a
No,
little
this is
bit.
important.
No, that's
Then
important.
we talked about the fact that is important. We talked about the fact of how much that the board has allocated a year,
Right.
what comes out of that, and they went through it with me. Now the rent is a separate
It's a separate
line
budget.
altogether.
Right.
And because we were very concerned that the fact that because the rent for this office here has
Right.
gone up 85%.
Right.
What?
85% from $1,600 a
It's
month.
still under negotiation.
Yes, but it's still in negotiation. It has not really been firmly and concrete and signed, but it's going to happen.
It's gonna
The
go
guy
up,
from
right?
OMB told me it's really going to happen. Went from $1,600 to $6,675.40 a year.
Doesn't come out of our budget though?
A month,
It's
a
separate
month, a
line.
month,
The
a month.
decals pays
A
for
month.
the utility, the rent utility.
But listen, the reason, the way that the, Mr. Abad from OMB explained to me, the reason why they went ahead and approved it, it was because that DCAS was a little remiss in their duties. Because when he said that they should have started negotiating with the rent 2 years before the rent expired, before the lease expired, I'm sorry. And that,
It would have been much lower.
yes.
Of course it would.
And that the reason why they only extended the lease for 5 years, it gives us time to start looking for a place in 2 years. Because they only set aside $140,000, maybe a little more, for to pay the rent up until 5 years. And he said, I think that you guys, he said, I would suggest that you start looking for another place.
Wow.
The only,
Because, yeah, because Oh,
seriously?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, I'll be right, I'll be
we
right out. Okay, wait, comments?
So, you always
So just
be,
one last
I'll be
question, 'cause I know
outside,
you
you
have to
can
go.
call me on myself,
So that-
I'll
yeah.
come back.
So the rent does not come out at
No, it doesn't.
$224?
No.
It doesn't.
No.
Thank God.
That's the only thing we have to
Decaf
worry
paid
about.
the rent.
DCAS
So
pays the rent, that's a,
separate.
that's, wait a minute, that's a separate,
Yeah, because that's what was
For the
bothering me.
yeah, I know that, I saw your emails,
You saw my email,
the
but it
city
tells you
is,
in person.
they pay, the city pay the power, light, let's call
Okay.
it that. But for the rent, it comes out on a separate line.
Fine.
And what they did, what DCAS did, and what OMB did, they was waiting for the city council's budget to be passed.
Can I ask you a question? Can y'all do that?
Then
Yeah,
they-
yeah,
Seriously,
yeah.
it's
But I gotta go too,
Okay.
cause that was
Yeah.
mine.
So,
Yeah,
we gotta move on.
Have a nice night.
We gotta move on, so,
okay.
No,
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Dr. Frederick?
the search committee. Now, we
Are you
actually,
going to, you are gonna discuss this committee now, or you're gonna go into it?
No, we're not, she's gonna get a highlight to it.
Oh,
I'm
sorry.
just
Okay.
gonna
Yeah.
give the highlights of it. We are down to 3 candidates, as everybody knows so far. What we plan to do is to present those 3 candidates to the board. They were already sent invitation to come to the meeting on the 28th. And when we met at that last meeting we had, we interviewed all 3 candidates. We also asked them to write a letter as if they were inviting the board president to our meeting, because we felt that it's very important
Mhm.
to see their penmanship, how they spell, how they write, how they present certain things. So that was one of the things that was very, very important. So we're gonna let everybody see that, and I think we are going to probably have the resumes for
That's
people to
important.
see.
Yeah.
Okay, and go through. I'm gonna be asking people, please don't take any pictures of the resumes, because those things they're gonna have people's name, personal information on it.
Yeah.
We would not like that to be put out there, alright? Now,
Excuse
and
me,
we're
when
going
you say
to.
people, you mean the
Committee,
Committee.
the board, because we're gonna be in executive session.
And that's what's
When
kinda
we're doing
asked.
this, of course, we're gonna be in executive session. And what I'm going to do, I have a report as the chair, and apart from all the minutes are gonna be there, we're gonna have copies of all the minutes of the search committee. And I'm going to give the chair's report. I'm gonna say it right here, it's gonna be a very non-biased report.
Mhm.
I'm going to be highlighting the information that I received from the references that was given
Good.
to us. And apart from that, as I said, those are the things that's going to be highlighted in the chair's report. I would not be personally recommending any one person, but in our minutes, the last minutes, we as a search committee, when we got together, we actually, after we did the interview and we read through the letters and so on, we actually cast a ballot, secret ballot, and we ranked them, the 3 candidates. And that's one of the things that I'm going to share with the board, because here's the reason why. It's one of the only area we had a bit of contention with one member of the search committee. So I called Andrew, that's the he's the lawyer from Borough Hall, and I spoke to him. Our chair also called him, because this particular individual reached out to the chair about it, and so we both spoke to Andrew, and he literally said there should be no problem with us letting people know what we found out, because we are the ones who interviewed, we are the ones who can suggest, hey, this is what we find for each candidate, and let you guys know where we are at with that. And so that's where we are. And any questions?
I have one question, and I say this supportively, I'm not trying to do anything, but let me just say what my concern has nothing to do with the committee. Okay, what it has to do with is that this is a very sensitive subject.
It is.
And we've already blown it once, okay? and we can't have a repeat and everything.
We are
The only
not
thing I'm
going to.
just, no, you don't have to defend it because I'm not attacking. We just need to make sure our process is perfect.
It is.
So, the person that you would recommend is number one. That will be the highest scoring person?
Well, here, let me.
Well, are we gonna talk about the scoring right now?
No, this is really.
I'm just gonna give him. I'm just gonna give him a little.
Yeah, so in other words, your first recommendation is the person who scored the highest. Your second.
I'm gonna explain that to you.
Yeah.
Because that could be explained during the executive committee.
I know, but just so Warren
We don't want
gets
to
it,
discuss this at
right?
the board meeting.
It's gonna be an executive session, so
Yeah,
it's only with board
just
members.
so
Yeah, but I don't wanna do it there. I'd rather do it here.
But other board members may have the same
Let me
Are
tell
question.
you in a hurry?
No, I'm just saying,
Let
other
me
board
tell-
members may have the same question.
Yeah, I'm listening, I
Let me
just
tell-
told you.
What we did, okay, it's a secret ballot, and we said, okay, number 1, 2, and 3. Number 3, number 1 is the highest. Okay,
Right.
the highest ranked person is
Right.
number 1.
Okay,
And so you might see where somebody gets 7 out of 7, but
Right.
they're ranked number 3.
what?
They're ranked number 3 because what we did, we had people put the 3 names down in order of how they viewed them after the interview and the letter writing and all of those things. So everybody had 3 names down, and they said, okay, I ranked this person number 1, this person number 2, this person number 3, and so we added that up. So even if you see maybe number 3 has 6 out of 7 or 7 out of 7, that person is not ranked number 1. That means everybody ranked that person number 3.
Now, so what I would recommend in your minutes is not to put your first rankings in, but put your second set of rankings. Because
What are you talking about?
you had 2 rankings. You had first the general one where everybody said 7 out of 7, 6 out of 7, 5 out of 7, correct? That was your ranking. So if
And
you
what's
have
the
someone,
second set?
no, I was wrong. If you have 7 out of 7 and you're going to recommend and rank, that has to be number 1. So let me just give you perception. I'm not challenging anything here. If you have, do you have any ties?
Warren, if you have 3 rank, you have rank number 1,
Yeah.
number 2, number 3,
Yeah.
okay? And you have 7 people voting,
Right.
okay? You have, let's say 6 out of 7 ranked one person number 1.
Right.
And then 6 out of 7
Right.
ranked somebody number 2, that person number 2.
Uh-huh.
And everybody else ranked the other person number 3. There should be no.
I understand what you're saying.
Thank you.
Okay.
Can I ask one
Now,
question?
you have to explain this differently.
Oh,
That's all I'm saying.
okay.
I really mean it.
No.
Because when
Because
when
when
I'm
you originally said that.
what I'm
I didn't
thinking of is
understand
That
this.
is the reason why
No, but
I
that-
said to
it has to be
just let
explained.
me.
It has to be
yeah.
explained. First of all, just for the record, I think there shouldn't be any rankings, but that's fine. I'm not going to even. I think that it should be presented to the board, okay,
Did you sign
and
it?
let the board decide because only because okay of the whole thing with the accusations that Borough Hall is meddling. Okay, let me just speak.
I'm listening.
And it's totally for transparency, nothing else. Okay. So that way, if you let the whole board decide, then we know that, then people can't say, well, this one was affected, that one was, even though they're not affected, we know that.
Okay.
So all I'm saying is that with your ranking,
hold
just
on. I'm
Yeah.
gonna stop
Yeah.
you right there.
Yeah.
Okay? Let me put it this way. Any other committee that meets with people,
I agree with
hold
that.
on.
I know what you're gonna say.
They will come to the board and say,
We
we
recommend
recommend
it. I agree
X,
totally.
Y, Z.
Totally.
Okay? So this is what we did. But what I'm saying to you, in the chair's report, I will not be specifying any